This is King Interim, the king of my people, the spiritual leader of Ambazonian. Welcome to the mind of King Interim. The interim government has failed Ambazonians. I believe that strongly, that the interim government has failed Ambazonians. An ultimatum that he gave to the Republic of Cameroon, that if they don't produce our leaders dead or alive, there will be war. The date that was set was January 5th. Today is what? I believe January 7th, if I'm not mistaken. That's 2 days past the due date. But the interim government hasn't done what they declared to do. And this is not the only thing I find ridiculous with the interim government. The interim government of Ambazonia is the biggest fraction fighting for the restoration of our independence. But then again, they do not believe in military. They believe in diplomacy. They believe in non-violence. That's a problem. Non-violence is only leading to the killing, to the slaughter of Ambazonian citizens. On the 1st of October, the day we decided to declare our independence, I had high hopes that the interim government would put military on the ground to defend our people in case they were attacked. But to my dismay, they didn't. And what happened? Many Southern Cameroonians were killed, slaughtered, unarmed citizens killed just like that. And the whole world watched. I believe that the interim government thinks that if they put a show to the world to display the cruelty of La République, then the world will take interest in our case and give us an option to choose a referendum for either to separate or not. But what happens? The UN, the African Union, all the international bodies failed us poorly. Yet they still believe in diplomacy. This is my issue with the interim government. This is my biggest issue with them. They think that only the work in order for us to have our independence, but I don't believe that. And there are many other leaders who are fighting this cause who do not believe only in diplomacy, but using diplomacy and military. We can't sit and watch our own citizens being killed. Just look at the video, the picture of how Sam Sawyer was slaughtered. His head was cut off. I mean, do you think just speaking of non-violence will be the method that will work with La Republic. For the past 56 years, that hasn't worked. How did La Republic du Cameroon come into Southern Cameroon? They used military. Because we didn't have a way to defend ourselves, they came in with their military might, with their military prowess, and forced us in this fake union, which wasn't legalized in the first place. A union that was not legalized. But the world thinks that in Southern Cameroon and La Republic are one, which we aren't. Legally, which we are not. But for over 30 years, we've been using diplomacy to try to fix this issue, and for over 30 years, diplomacy hasn't worked. So after creating an interim government, even if they were to use diplomacy as a face, the interim government should have created a military, a secret military, in case La Republic decides to kill our military to defend our people. If we had used our military, or if the interim government had created a military to use on October, the case would not be as so many civilians were killed. Now, leaders are fighting for our independence are nowhere to be found. We don't know. I don't know in Nigeria. We don't know in claims they are Cameroon, but has the evidence. Are we just gonna sit by and watch as our city have been killed, have been slaughtered? 8.5 million, 10 million people. A million, at least 40,000 people, if not at least 5 to 10 soldiers who can defend our land, defend our people, not just the leaders. Interim has so many issues. Their interest is politics. Politics, that's all they do. We need bold action. It's a war that has been declared upon. Interim government needs to take bold steps to make people assured. And the only option to do that is military, big military ground. Why can't they realize that? Why do they believe in diplomacy? Why do they believe so much in diplomacy? Come and shut me up now. If you want to shut me up, because I ain't gonna shut my mouth. Nobody controls me. I control myself. Let me make something crystal clear. You make your shit nonsense on my live video, I don't give a damn. Nobody shuts me up. I'm King H. I speak my mind the way I want to. Nobody tells me what to do and how to speak or what to say. But the interim government is fucking up. And somebody needs to wake them up, because inaction, their inability to act in so many lies. But the governing represent Ambazonian. Your people are being slaughtered. What are you going to do? What action are you going to take? If you believe in the knights and the round table, shut up. That's what I'm saying. If you wanna come shut me here, come and shut me up. I'm gonna girl. If you don't got nothing to do, get the fuck out of here. I didn't come over. Let me make that crystal clear. I didn't ask you to come here. Look, girl. That's what I'm. But it looks like you don't have nothing to do. You've decided to come to my live and say trash. But go ahead and say, I got more. This is, you know, I got time. My way out. But anyway, people so interim government over for the period that they have been have done of diplomacy, seen all kinds of that nothing but they got their leader or their leaders. How can you people like such state of Southern Ambazonian when they cannot even make sure their leader, they can't even do that? Then how are you going to take 85 million people? Don't believe in military, bad diplomacy. No. After declaring first, they should have used the military to defend, because I did it. 2008, Palestine killed who are they're not, they don't have a big army to handle. The interim government has the finances to create a military that will fight La Republic, because that is the only option. That is, as a people, in order for us to survive, we must fight. For tooth. They kill us, we have to kill them. Now you have Chad in Cameroon, Ambazonians. France. Chad can get involved without the approval of France. So we are now fighting 3 countries. We're fighting La Republic, we're fighting Chad and France. And then our neighbor, the president of Nigeria, doesn't want us to succeed, because if we do succeed, it gives an upper hand for the Biafrans to stand and succeed from Nigeria, which they don't want. So we are surrounded with military to defend our people and our land. The ultimatum that Chris Annan made, they did nothing. The field has passed. What are we going to do? Mega, if you have something to say, say it. If you got a question, ask. Don't say I should wake them up. I'm speaking my mind. If you want to say something, say it. I mean, I know you got something to say. The fact that you're itching right there. You keep typing. I know you want to say something. Ask a reasonable question. Don't just keep saying bullshit. But the fact is, the solution that we need, this we already have. Ayabacho is the true revolutionary that we need. Somebody who uses diplomacy as well as military. We need to combine both if we really want freedom. Freedom is not given, it's taken. Nobody gives you freedom. Nobody. France is fighting to keep the resources that need to survive, and in that they will step on others and cross, even using other African. And Chad is not the only involved in this. You got the Central African Republic that is right close. All it needs is approval from France, because France does not want to Southern Cameroon go. They don't want us to go. So they do everything in their power, in their might. They has a leverage over Nigeria, to the point that it has convinced the president of Nigeria, Buhari, to allow Cameroonian soldiers to venture inside Nigeria and arrest our people who escaped. But then the biggest government council that can make a difference does not have a military. And the ultimatum that Chris Ano gave is yet to. We don't know what they're planning. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if they even have the courage to do it. Freedom must be taken by might, by force, by any means necessary. Nobody gives you freedom. Nobody will give us freedom. No international community would assist us or help us in achieving our goal. So, interim government, the ball is in your hand, and do what is required. What is required is having a military that could go to with France, with Chad, and with Liberia, because France can to speak. And they will slaughter our people, because they think it's superior. They believe inferior. That has always been the case for more than 500 years. The world has been Americans, and because they can control our nations in Africa through leaders, and we Africans suffer. We become afraid to act. Early boy Mega. Of course, I will wake them up. I'm the spiritual leader of Ambazonian. I will wake the interim government. I will wake every Southern Cameroonian. Because that's what the spiritual leader does. To invoke that fighting spirit inside one of us. That fighting spirit burning, yearning to burst. That anger, that frustration that is inside us as a people. Seeing our own brothers and sisters dying on the street like animals, being slaughtered. Don't you care? Don't you care enough to want to do something? Don't you care enough to want to stand up and fight for the right of all Ambazonians? Don't you care? Are we not a people? Do we not think and act? What are we so afraid of? What are we so afraid of? Franks want to destroy us. We should destroy Franks. As a matter of fact, we can start by burning down or destroying the embassy in Cameroon. The French embassy. Let them get into the ground and start this war. Let them come and kill us. Let them come and slaughter us. Because that's what they yearn for. They don't see us as human beings. They don't think we are human beings. They have always done studies to prove to the world that we are not like them. That we are not like them. We are. We are Africans. These Ambazonian public is marginal. Is public has decided to colonize us for over 56 years. Time for us to fight for human rights. Many nations in the world they had right now. They survived. If they survive, we can survive. If they can fight, we fight for our own rights, for our own dignity, for our own humanity. Life is war. Life is war. Nobody, no nation, no country. A lot of Africans believe so much in the white Western world. But the Western world believes in himself. The white man believes in himself. He does what he does to survive. He, as a citizen, as a human being, as part of the universe, to fight for our liberty, for our right, for our birthright. So I say, interim government, it's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to act or step aside. If you cannot do what is required to free Ambazonians, then step aside. Let Ayabacho take over. Because he's the real revolutionary that we need. He's the Robert Mugabe of Ambazonian. Well, we have a Robert Mugabe of Ambazonian. is not free. They fight people. As we don't, we will fight till the last. For us to achieve this sacrifice. A lot of politics inside the interim government, a lot of blaming inside the interim government. Some say it's Dr. Nkongo's success that has caused the downfall of the president or the interim president of Ambazonian and company. Some say no, it's Milan or whoever his name is. But those are all excuses. The fault lies on the entire interim government because they lack true leadership. If you cannot manage a few people, then how are you able to manage 8.5 million to 10 million people? This is a test. It's time for you to wake up, interim government, and do what is required. We need a military on the ground because our people are dying. And you've been wasting money on useless agendas, trying to plead the entire world. You're begging the entire world to give you independence when you must take your independence. The United States, everybody knows, God is independent through war. Not only United States, many other countries. The first black nation in the world to actually to get its independence, Haiti, got its independence through war. People, they fought France and defeated France. But you have 14 nations inside Africa that cannot stand to defeat a nation as France. 14 nations that are 10 times bigger than France. But what happened? We are so afraid, so scared. The white man has put so much fear into our minds. We'd rather kill our own black brothers than fight against the enemy that benefit from our fight. You have Chad killing Southern Cameroonians, killing Ambazonian, killing other black people. Same shit happened all over. A couple of years ago, it was in South Africa where South Africans were killing other Africans. Meanwhile, their issue is with the whites who are in South Africa. In South Africa, they have towns that no black man can live in. No black man. A white man came into Africa, took the land, and built houses, and yet you were born in that land from generation to generation, and you are secluded. There are areas that you cannot go. And this is not only in South Africa, it's in many other African nations. When it comes to destroying ourselves, we are good at it. We use all type of methods. We say tribes. Now it's French and English. In Nigeria, it's northerners and southerners. It's everywhere in Africa. Everywhere. When are we going to wake up to the truth that in order for French Africa to be free from this tyranny, we must face the truth that France must leave, France must go, France must be destroyed and cut off from Africa, because they are responsible for what is happening. And not just France alone. Brits plays a big role in this issue. We all understand that, but why can't we, Southern Cameroonians, stand up and fight against our enemies? Non-violence is not the only method. Non-violence would lead to so much casualties, so much death. But when you arm every citizen, every capable citizen in Southern Cameroon, fighting French Cameroonians, just like they slaughter our brothers, when they see their own blood on the ground, when they are dying in the numbers as we are dying, then maybe they will think that this war is useless. But so long as they have the advantage of killing us, so long as they have the advantage of killing us, they will continue to inflict more pain upon us. They will continue to inflict more pain upon us. In the Bible, it's written there, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. In the Quran, it's in there. Those books don't lie. They speak the truth. But people select what they want to select. They're just, in reality, they're just two practical law, I could say. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Simple. You treat me nice, I treat you nice. If you treat me bad, guess what? I will treat you bad. Those are the two laws that is applicable in the entire world. And from those two laws, you could add other types of laws that you want to. But the fact is, if I have somebody that treats me and respects me as an equal, I will do the same to that person. But if that person disrespects me, or wants to see me dead, or tries to kill me, I have every right to defend myself. That is life. It is war. Life is war. So it's time for us, Ambazonians. It's time for us to wake up. It's the truth. If we don't arm ourselves to the teeth of Cameroonians. I'm going to fight La Republique and Franks that is involved and Chad to destroy our lives. Nobody gives us freedom. We must take it. I think, therefore I am. If you are able to think for yourself, act for your interests, one interest in life, survive and read. When people are left and right, how can they survive? Slaughtered. The numbers. Grandmothers in alive. And you know what? Some of these French Cameroonians who are doing this killing and actually proud of making videos about it, of speaking proudly of what they have done. In life, nobody fights for you but yourself. You might be afraid, but you must face your demons. You must face your enemies. And there are two types of enemies. The enemies within and the enemy without. And you could apply this within yourself as well as with your surroundings. Because sometimes what keeps us down is ourselves. What makes us become afraid of the world is ourselves. We let the fear control. But when we are able to attack the fear and say, hey, I'm not afraid of this thing that is trying to control my life. I'm in control of what I do. I am the king of me. I am the God in me. I control. I create, and nobody else. And this is how every Southern Cameroonian should think and act, because we are in control of our lives. Government controls our lives. So that we don't go out of hand. But when the laws are not in favor of us, as like in our situation in Southern Cameroon and the Republic of Cameroon, what else must we do but rise? But rise to the occasion and fend for ourselves and defend our lives and defend our nation. We were a nation before this fake union with the Republic. We were a nation before when we were with Nigeria. And what happened? Things didn't go well. We decided to leave Nigeria. Now things aren't going well with the Republic. We have every right to separate. Every goddamn right to separate. But how are we gonna do that when they are bringing in so many military from other nations to kill us? When we have some of our leaders believe that non-violence and diplomacy is the only option. And so many people believe in that. But then again, look at the results. People are being killed, slaughtered daily. Daily. People are being killed. People are being slaughtered daily. Why can't we do the same thing that the Republic is doing to us in greater numbers? 8.5 million people to 10 million people can create a military for at least, with the financial support within ourselves, we can create a military for at least 10,000 soldiers to 20,000 soldiers, which is what we need, armed to the teeth. It's a dark world. To survive, we must become strong. To survive, we must become strong. And some people might think that, oh, you have different ideas, or you're a traitor, or you're this, or this. Fuck all that shit. In time of revolution, you need a strong leader that is ready to take the fight to the next level. But the interim government has failed us so woefully. It's deplorable. They have failed us. This is King Interim, spiritual leader of Ambazonian. I'm going to end here tonight. Later.